Hey you guys, so today I have something a little bit different for you guys. Today I don't do a lot of like independent like product reviews, but I have been getting a lot of questions about the two Urban Decay foundations and which one you guys should buy. I get a lot of like, should I get the all-nighter or should I get the like naked skin? Like, which one do you like better? So today I figured I would sit down and just tell you guys the pros and cons of each foundation so that you guys can better pick out which one suits you and your needs and your skin type and what you want best. So first, just kind of a general overview of the foundations. The Naked Skin is their original foundation. They both retail for $40 and it's a weightless ultra definition liquid makeup, and it's supposed to be peptide infused and light diffusing and paraben free. And this one I think is more of, it's said to be more of a medium coverage foundation and just more of like, you know, it's supposed to look like your skin but better. And the All Nighter foundation is a waterproof long wear liquid foundation that is full coverage. So they're very much so very different things, although I do think any skin type could wear either of these, but I'll get into that a little bit later. So first, on the question of which one do you like better, I like them both for different reasons, which is why it's so hard for me to answer that question when you guys like comment and you're like, which one should I get, is because there's so many good things and so many like, well, not so many bad things, but there's pros and cons definitely to each foundation, but I do enjoy them both. I have gone through, this is my second bottle of Naked Skin, and I haven't had the all-nighter for that long, but I have had it for a solid like 2 months, and even before that I went through a couple of Sephora samples, so I've been using it quite a bit. So let's get into each foundation and the pros and cons of it so that way you guys can figure out which one that you want. And I will have a little clip of me putting on the foundation so that way you can see what it looks like on bare skin without concealer and highlight and all like setting powder and all of that. So that will be at the end of the video. I'll put a little, I'll tell you where it starts here if you just want to pop over and just see how it looks on its own. So that will be at the end of the video. But anyways, let's get on to each individual review and then I'll kind of compare and contrast at the end. So since the Naked Skin came out first, let's start with the Naked Skin. So on the Urban Decay website, this says it's supposed to be coverage without compromise. Our weightless formula blurs imperfections for a flawless finish that feels invisible but looks professionally retouched. Feels like wearing nothing, yet Naked Skin liquid makeup transforms your skin, your complexion. Skin looks natural, illuminated, and bright with a luminous demi-matte finish, like the beautiful skin you were born with. So that's kind of their whole thing, is this is supposed to look like your skin but better. It's supposed to be light diffusing, all of that, blurring pores, all of that sort of thing. And I totally agree. This is very much so a your skin but better foundation. Totally agree with the demi matte finish. You will see at the end when I'm actually applying it, it's not like dewy by any means, but there's still a little bit of life to your skin as if it's your natural skin. I have gone through 2 bottles, well, at 1.5 bottles of this. This used to be my everyday go-to foundation just for every day because it has just a beautiful amount of coverage without being like too full coverage cakey. I'm wearing it on this side of my face, although I don't think you guys are going to be able to tell a difference, but this is the side of the face that I am wearing the Naked Skin on. In both of these shades, I am in the shade 1.0. Yeah, I just think this is a great everyday foundation. I know people with dry skin that love it. I have oily skin, and this is definitely a foundation that I have to set with powder and with my Urban Decay De-Slick makeup setting spray. But I do that for every single foundation, so I don't necessarily mind that I have to take those steps with this foundation because I do it with every of my other ones. Does that make sense? All of my other foundations, so that it just starts to kind of combat my oils even more, because this isn't necessarily a foundation for oily skin or to prevent oils from like coming to the surface, but I think because it is so like hydrating and like comfortable on the skin, it doesn't make my skin more oily, if that makes sense. So for oily skin, definitely have to set it with a mattifying powder and like De-Slick makeup setting spray or whatever setting spray you prefer if you have oily skin. But other than that, that's pretty much my only con about this foundation, is that, you know, it's not like crazy long wearing. I could probably get like a solid 6-hour wear before I start to feel like really like oily and like feel like I need to retouch. Overall, I love this foundation. Really good medium coverage foundation. Very, very skin-like, very comfortable. I mean, neither of the sides of my face feel like I have foundation on them. That's what I love about both of these is that they're both super comfortable. So that's just kind of my rundown on the Naked Skin. Next up is the All Nighter, and this stuff is heavy duty but does not feel heavy whatsoever. So let me pull up what the Urban Decay site says about the All Nighter foundation. So this says it provides a full coverage with a modern matte finish that never looks overdone, gets seriously long-lasting wear, and a blown-out effect you never thought was possible. Perfect for all-night affairs and other scandalous activities. Revolutionary formula is also comfortable enough to wear all day. I totally 100% agree with every single claim. This is a full coverage foundation, like full coverage foundation. The tiniest bit spreads the longest way, and you can kind of thin it out to make a medium coverage, and I definitely think it's perfect for every day because it feels so comfortable on your skin. You don't even feel like you're wearing a full coverage foundation. It's so lightweight and moussey. This does oxidize the tiniest amount, but I did notice that when I put these like pumps of both of these next to each other, this one was a little bit lighter to start out with, and then when it oxidizes, I mean, I don't think you guys can tell the difference having one on one side of my face and one on the other. But with this, just make sure you blend it down your neck. Make sure you don't get any harsh edges because those harsh edges will oxidize and will look a little crusty. But this is a totally comfortable full coverage foundation. I would say it does last a really long time, but I don't think it's like quite all night because this does still like, it doesn't combat my oils as much as I thought it would. Again, it's similar to Naked Skin where I probably get like, I'd say I get like 8 hours use, whereas the Naked Skin I get like 6. I would say I get like 8 hours of wear before I start to get like really shiny and oily. Again, this does touch up really nicely. It doesn't emphasize pores. The one con I will say about this foundation is because it has so much pigment just packed into it and you have to use such a little amount. If you use too much of this, it can look cakey, and it will look more cakey as you wear it out through the day. That is one thing that I've noticed is sometimes when I wear this foundation and I just like accidentally pump too much and I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. By like probably like 5 hours in, I start to notice like how cakey it looks on my skin, but that is only if you apply too much, which happens with a lot of foundations that are really, really packed with pigment. So just use like, I literally use one pump, like boop, one pump for my whole face, and sometimes I'll have extra on the back of my hand when I am done applying my foundation. So that is just kind of a general overview. So let's compare and contrast. So again, I am in the shade 1.0 in each of the foundations. Both the foundations have really pretty dang good color ranges. I think they have 24 shades of each, and how the color shades work is basically if it is a half number, so it's like 0.5 or 1.5 or 5.5 or 6.5, it leans more pink, and if it is a whole number, so 1.0, 2.0, 6.0, all of that, it leans more yellow. And then they did add more shades that are 0.25, and those lean more neutral. So it's really, really nice because if you are fair and have warm undertones, warm yellow undertones, you can find what shade you need really easily. And like if you're like me and you like self-tanning, I know I can just go, you know, 1 or 2 shades up with the whole numbers, and I'm getting a warm undertone still. So I think it's really, really easy to find your foundation match. I know girls that are really, really pale that still can wear the lightest shade in this foundation, which is really nice. So the color range is really nice. It makes it pretty easy to find your match even if you're shopping online. The bottles are both beautiful, like absolutely gorgeous. I think $40 is a fair price for, especially for this one, because you have to use such little product that this is going to last you so long. Same with this one. This one you do have to use a little bit more product, but if you're just applying it for just like an everyday medium coverage, it will last you quite a long time. And like I said, I have repurchased this, so that is something, I mean, that means a lot to me. That's one of the only high-end foundations that I've actually repurchased. I actually think it's the only high-end foundation that I've repurchased. Yes, it is. So basically, in conclusion, if you are looking for a medium coverage, everyday sort of foundation that is going to be maybe more suited for dry skin, but you can still wear it if you have oily skin, I would go with the Naked Skin. It is a lot more lightweight. Actually, they're both lightweight, but it's a lot more light in coverage, but has more of a natural skin look to it, whereas the All Nighter foundation is still lightweight, but has a very, like, I really like the modern matte that they describe it as, because that's exactly what it looks like. It looks like your skin, but like perfect, flawless matte, so not really your skin. It looks like a perfect, flawless matte coverage foundation, but it doesn't look super heavy unless you apply too much, so just keep that in mind. I have seen numerous reviews of both of these foundations, and I have seen people with dry and with oily skin like these foundations. I saw Kathleen Lights really like this foundation, and now she struggles with very dry skin, so I feel like either of these foundations can be suitable for dry, normal, or oily skin. Obviously, I have a combination oily skin type, but I don't notice this clinging. I get like dry forehead patches, but I don't notice this clinging to either one of those, to any of those patches. So I really think either of these would be suited for your skin type, for whatever skin type. So I think it just really comes down to what you are looking for in a foundation. So these are really similar in ways in that they're lightweight, they're really comfortable on the skin, the color ranges are good, and the colors are pretty consistent through, but they are different in that this one's more of a light medium coverage, this one is more of a medium full coverage. They both last a decent amount of time. I would say, again, this one lasts probably about 6 hours. This one probably lasts around 8 hours before I start to get really oily. And I do set both of these with powder and with my Urban Decay De-Slick Makeup Setting Spray. So again, that's just kind of a general rundown. So now I'll pop you over to No Foundation Katie, and we will watch as I put on the foundation, so that way you can see what they look like with no concealer, no powder, no highlight, none of that. So let's go. So here's what my here's what my face looks like with zero foundation. I have just prepped my skin as I normally do with oh my gosh, I can't talk today, which is just with a little bit of moisturizer. So let's zoom you in and start applying these foundations. Okay, so first one I'm going to take is the All Nighter. Again, I'm in the shade 1.0 for both shades, and today I'm going to apply this one with my beauty sponge, specifically my Eco Tools sponge, and then I'm going to actually be applying the Naked Skin with a brush, just because I have tried both of these foundations with both the different ways of applying it, and I just find that that's what I like best for each foundation. With the All Nighter, it does work really well with a brush, but I find with moussier foundations, the beauty sponge just blends it out and makes it look a little bit more airbrushed. And with the Naked Skin, I find that the brush really distributes the product like really evenly and kind of like blends it into your skin a little bit, and I find that beauty sponges can kind of soak up a lot of product when it comes to the Naked Skin. So that's what I'm going to do. Since I'm only doing half my face, I'm literally going to take like that much, the tiniest bit. This stuff goes a very, very long way. So what I like to do is I like to just kind of stamp this all over my face, and you can see I kind of have some redness and discoloration, and then I just kind of swipe and blend. And then as it kind of goes away, I'll just pick up a little bit more product. And already with just that tiny amount of product, you guys can see the redness is super, super even. I mean, you can see on the one half of my nose, it's like completely like not red anymore. This shade does oxidize a little bit. Then I'm just gonna pick up a little bit more. And then I'm just gonna take the tiniest bit more for my forehead. But seriously, the littlest bit of this just goes such a long way. This bottle will really last you a really long time. This is all stuff I've probably already told you though. Okay, and that is one full layer, and I would personally call this full coverage, but for the purpose of the video I will build it up a tiny bit just because I do see just like a tiny hint of redness still poking through. So again, I'm just going to take the littlest amount and I'm just going to build it up right where I get a little bit more red. But I wouldn't normally do this because honestly this foundation gives a really, really good coverage with just that one layer. I'm just going to go over my red areas a little bit more. And I don't know if you guys are going to be able to tell the difference, but it seriously looks like I just put on concealer. Like, I honestly don't really feel like I need under eye concealer anymore. So here's the comparison with the All Nighter foundation on one side and Zero foundation on the other. You guys can see it evens out my skin tone really well. It matches me really well. It looks a little bit light, but like I said, it does oxidize, and it oxidizes to almost my perfect shade. So now I'm going to apply the Naked Skin on the other side. My favorite brush to apply this with is the Makeup Geek Foundation Stippling Brush. It's a nice kind of dense brush, but it's not as dense as like the Sigma F80 or anything like that. I just find it just spreads the foundation so nicely out and just kind of makes it blend into your skin. So with this, I'm going to take pretty much a pump and a half. Here's the consistency. Very, very runny. And I just like kind of paint it on at first. And then once I have the bulk of it just kind of like literally painted on, then I'll just go around in circular motions and just blend it into my skin. And just doing this just makes it really just blend into your skin so nicely. And it's just so quick. So here is one layer of the Naked Skin. As you can see, probably with the comparison of right here, you can still see a lot of my under eyes and a lot of the redness on the sides of my nose. This I would call a really, really good medium coverage because you can still see redness, you can still see some imperfections, like I have a little zit poking out there and this one down here, but it's a really, really good everyday coverage, at least for me. So I'm just going to take whatever is left and just build it up a little bit, just again in my problem areas. So that helped a little bit with the redness around my nose, which happens all the time. I constantly have redness around there. But overall, this is what the foundation looks like. It's not a like heavy full coverage. If you're wanting heavy full coverage, again, I would go for this side. But just to kind of give you a comparison, I need to blend that a little bit more. And I don't know if you guys are going to be able to tell, but the Naked Skin side has a little bit of kind of a demi-matte finish. There's still like it's not a dewy finish by any means, but there's still some life to it. Whereas the Naked, or the All Nighter is completely matte. And to the touch, the All Nighter feels almost completely dry. It almost feels like I set it already, and the Naked Skin is still a little bit tacky to the touch. So again, this side is the All Nighter and this side is the Naked Skin. So that's how they apply. I'm gonna go finish my makeup and I'll toss you back to the other Katie. Alright, let's go. Okay guys, so as you guys saw, the All Nighter foundation, which is this side of my face, I used a lot less concealer because I feel like I didn't need it. It spread out the product really, really well. Even after building it up, it didn't go cakey, it didn't go like weird, it didn't emphasize my pores or anything. It just added coverage without adding any more texture. And then the Naked Skin foundation really just kind of blends into your skin. You could see a lot more redness on my nose area. I did use more concealer on this side to kind of even out the coverage. After I applied concealer, it looks beautiful, like absolutely lovely. So I love both of the foundations for very different reasons, but I think both of them are great foundations. It just depends on what you are looking for in a foundation. So that's pretty much all I have to say about these foundations. I love both of them. I think both of them are worth the $40 makeup splurge. I will put my video on how to save money on high-end makeup products down below because those are tips that I use all the time when I want to buy high-end makeup, but I don't want to spend high-end makeup money, if you know what I mean. So I hope you guys found this helpful. Let me know if you've tried either one of these, or if you've tried both, let me know what your favorite is. And of course, with any high-end foundation, make sure you go to Sephora and get a sample. I highly, highly recommend, because I could say things and you're like, oh yeah, that sounds great, and then you could buy it and it could be terrible on your skin for your preference. differences. So always, before you splurge on the $40 foundation, get a sample. If you can't get a sample, keep your receipt and return it if it doesn't work. Make sure you get your money back because nobody should be wasting money on foundations that don't work for them. So that's my little disclaimer, but anyways, again, I hope you guys found this helpful, and if you guys want to see more kind of individual product reviews like this on my channel, then just give this video a thumbs up and comment down below and let me know, and I will keep doing that for you guys. But that is all I have for you guys today. I love you guys so much. Make sure to subscribe before you leave, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!